Welcome to Paige's Lessons, a podcast dedicated for those who seek advice and wisdom on how to become the best versions of themselves in the most authentic way. If you identify as someone who is ambitious, goal-driven, and a badass, you've come to the right place. Self-reflection, mental health awareness, and exploring life's transitions is at the heart of our conversations because I truly believe every single day provides a lesson. I'm your host, Paige Mitchell, a board-certified life coach, motivational speaker, and mental health advocate. I can't wait to share these golden nuggets with you. Welcome to the first episode of Season 5, Paige's Lessons. I can't believe we're at Season 5 here, folks, but life moves on. We keep growing and learning new things, hence Paige's Lessons. My top value is curiosity. And by learning more about myself and the people around me, that biofeedback of how I come across, conversations, all these things, it's just really important to document this for myself and to just share the wisdom, share the lessons, share these golden nuggets with you of the things that I've learned and that have come into my path that I have to document. It would be really fucked up to keep all these gems and lessons to myself. It's my duty as a life coach, as a human, to serve and to provide knowledge, right? This wisdom for you. So with this season 5, I am on this brand new adventure. It's super fucking exciting and extremely scary because it's unknown, and we're gonna play it by ear with this season. You're along with the ride. You're along for the ride, folks. That's just what's going on. So this season is about Paige is traveling solo abroad to the UK and Western Europe for 6 months. I packed up all of my things living in California for a year. That was one chapter of my book, and I'm on to the next. And season 4 was all about healing and learning the different modalities and talking with different experts in the ways specifically that I healed and that would help you find your healing journey. But as I wrapped up that season, it's perfect timing to now start this new chapter of Paige being abroad. So I am going to, in this episode, give you more of a backstory for why I decided to pack up all my things and do this trip abroad. So if you've been a longtime fan and if you know me on a personal level, it's not a surprise to you that I really crave adventure and I've always wanted to travel. If you don't know me, if this is actually the very first episode you've ever heard of Paige's Lessons, welcome. Just a little bit of background. I have my master's in counseling. I grew up in Colorado. I was never really happy in Colorado. And so this past year, I decided to move to California, and I did that for a year, and it was absolutely amazing. That's where I recorded season 2, 3, and 4 was in California, and meeting new people and just starting my life as a brand new person, just this new identity, being single after an 11-year relationship. And California was just a really great restart of my life. And so as this journey continues, right, life never stops. When I moved to California, it was very intentional that I want to just try this out for a year. I just want to try out living in California in a studio right on the ocean and see what that's like. And it was so healing. It was so moving, so special. But it was also like I knew it was time for something else. Pretty much within the 4 months in, I was like, damn, this is amazing. I love living here, but I don't want to stay permanently. I don't see myself anytime soon, at least in the next few years, settling in one location and having the very 1950s traditional wife, picket fence, kids, all that stuff. Like, that's not me. That's not nothing, no shade at all. I think to each their own, but that's just not my journey. And so even though I loved California, I knew it was time for something new. And I have, since I was a child, an only child, very curious girl, have always been fascinated by travel and learning different countries and culture. Like, geography was one of my favorite subjects, just learning about, oh my God, like there's a whole other culture, there's a whole other population and group and demographic and music on the other side of the globe. Like, I gotta get over there, right? And books and magazines and movies. Like, I've always just had this wanderlust of like, I want to fucking see the world. When can I do this? And it was always like school or work, just having like the maybe 2-week PTO vacation to travel a little bit. But like, it never felt timing wise to actually get up off my ass and start backpacking and do the damn thing. There was always an excuse I made, and that's fine because timing is divine, and here we are today. So I decided probably the beginning of January 2023 that, okay, I'm going to do a one-way ticket and I'm going to travel for 6 months. So from July to January 2024, I want to be in the UK and Western Europe. I want to visit a country every single month versus I want to visit as many countries as possible to just get them off the bucket list. I really want to be intentional with the countries I visit. I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing things to happen. I want to really sit and talk with the locals and eat the food and just settle and sink in a country for 3 weeks to 4 weeks at a time. And although I've traveled at least across the pond, I've been to London before, I've been to Paris, Madrid, and Barcelona, and all beautiful cities and countries, but it is really important for me to branch out and try new places. So what I decided to do so that I wasn't too scared, I guess, like I didn't want to be too out of my comfort zone. So what I did is this past April, I purchased a one-way ticket to London. And I want to start with London because I've been there before. I think it's a brilliant city. There's so much to do. They speak English, basically, for the most part, that I can understand. And just to kind of get my feet wet, like, let's start this trip in London, right? And I also was like debating, okay, do I straight up backpack? Like, do I buy a legit backpack? Or do I do the whole, like, American tourist, have my luggage and carry that shit across the cobblestones? No. So I also committed to buying a backpack, and let's put all of the things for 6 months in this backpack. So all I had was a one-way ticket. I told my lease, my leasing manager, hey, here's my notice. I love my beach home, but I'm gone. And so, yep, I just made the decision. And then I researched a little bit on lodging and was thinking I could do the hostel route, I could do Airbnb, and I landed this really amazing flat. I'm not opposed to having roommates later on, but just for my very first time abroad, I want to have my own space. And I am going to be working throughout the 6 months. This isn't just a vacation and a holiday. I am literally being a digital nomad where I am working remotely and traveling and still experiencing life to the fullest. So privacy is very important to me. So I landed upon this amazing flat in Kensington, London, which is the west side. And it's a little bit more posh, a little bit fancy, and at least that's what I was told, right? And that's actually, come to find out, the flat, which is also myself, absolutely brilliant, really, really, really amazing place. It is across the street from Simon Cowell. I think that's his name, from American Idol. He lives in this neighborhood. So that's really cool. And the flat is also a 10-minute walk from the underground, the train, the tube. Just very easy to get around. And the host of this flat has been very accommodating, so sweet, letting me borrow her Oyster card, and she's like, you can borrow my rain jacket if you want. Just so accommodating and lovely. And so having all of that set up before actually moving and packing and shit was just so relieving. You know, it was such a buildup of like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. I have this like rough itinerary of where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do, but I just have no fucking idea. But it's time for me to get out of my comfort zone. It's time for me to really reflect on my deep, deep insecurities. And when you're traveling alone, you don't really have anyone else to reflect with. Yes, I have friends and support system and this podcast where I can vocally vomit out my thoughts and feelings to you all on this platform. But being a solo traveler, you're on your own. You're on your own with your thoughts, and you are home wherever you go. And I was asked, wait, you love California, like why are you leaving? Are you running away from something? What are you chasing something? Like what's going on? Is it the grass is always greener? And it's like, I want to just debunk all that shit right now. Just because I left California and I enjoyed California, I made amazing friends, I loved the weather, I loved my life. I really, really, really did. But it was also like, that was the time I needed at that place. And I don't think I could grow anymore as a person, professionally and personally, if I stayed in that little cocoon. It was a beautiful place for me to outgrow some of my old childhood wounds, and especially being in that, like I mentioned, an 11-year relationship, that was like a good space to kind of grow from that. And so I left California on a beautiful note. Like it was definitely sweet and sour. It was or sweet and bitter, like it was a bitter loss or whatever that expression is, because as beautiful as it was, I was really sad leaving. I really was. But I also left on an amazing note. I didn't leave like, oh, fuck California, fuck this place, I'm going to Europe. No, it was thank you. Thank you, California, so much for all of the lessons you taught me and experiences, the good and the bad, the heartaches, the crying, the tears, the blood, the joy, the fun, the sunshine, all the things. Thank you. And let's do this fucking solo trip. Let's try this out and see what happens. And so I'm not chasing anything. I think I'm giving myself 6 months, like I said, to really immerse myself into this lifestyle. And who knows, I will say 6 months abroad. It could be longer. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I don't know what foods I'm going to try. I don't know what mishaps are going to happen, but it's all divine timing, and just really reminding myself that I am supported on a relational and family and spiritual way of the universe always provides, and I'm always taken care of, and I'm loved. And I was reminded today of peace and how important it is for me to find my inner peace regardless of the shit that's going to happen on this trip. I'm in the very, very beginning stages of this. And so this episode, I really just wanted to give you this backstory of why I decided to do this. And again, I'm not chasing anything. It's just really finding different ways of living and seeing if this is like possible. And I may realize living remotely for a long period of time may not be right for me. I might want to, quote, settle down into one place at a time. But how would I know unless I try? And I get a lot of feedback from people I've met so far of like, wow, you're so brave. Aren't you scared? You're solo traveling as a woman. Like, that takes a lot of balls. Like, all of these things. And it's a lot of projections, right? A lot of things that people would never do it. And that's cool. But just listening to what feels right for me, it can be really hard because it's very fucking loud out there. It's very noisy. Like I said, a lot of people put their fears and insecurities onto you. So really being clear, like, I want you to walk away with this message of whether you have the desire to solo travel across the world or not. It's not even about that. It's just about chasing your fucking dreams. And I'm fucking doing it. Like, little Paige is so happy that she's doing this right now at 32 years old. Like, I finally got here. And I also feel really confident in this age that I'm doing it too, because if I did this trip when I was 21, just for me personally, if I did this at 21, I just would not have been prepared, confident, and flexible, I don't think. I've lived a little bit of life for me to make this decision, and I just feel a lot more, I think, just prepared when shit hits the fan. And also at age 21, there's a lot of like partying and being a little reckless. So at least at 32, it feels like I'm a little bit more in control, or just have a different perspective of like how to enjoy my time without drinking and partying and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I really want to have fun on this abroad trip, on this journey. But I also have to work. I still am a life coach. I have clients. I am also a resume writer as well. So I do still adapt to the American, Pacific and East Coast standard time zones. So I still need to be on top of my shit. But I also still want to live this life, being abroad, learning the cultures, meeting people, and seeing what this brings. So that's what season 5 is going to be all about. Be a little patient with me because I'm not sure how I'm going to exactly organize this. I don't know if each episode is going to be, Season 5, Episode 2, it's going to be titled London. Episode 3 is going to be titled Scotland. Whatever it is, just be patient along with this Season 5 journey. But this season is going to be about my adventures and the lessons learned. And I'm just really excited to reflect that with you and share this journey that I'm on and the lessons that I'm going to learn. Thank you so much. Make sure to share this platform, share this podcast with any of your friends. Maybe they're traveling abroad as well, and connect with me. Like I said, this is all about chasing your dreams. And it's okay if you don't ever want to travel. I'm not a travel coach, but I am someone that can help you not only live your dream life, but get very, very clear on your values, what it is that you want in your life, and finally get that clarity so that you can go out there and go for it. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening to Paige's Lessons with me, Paige Mitchell. You can find me on several social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all using the same handle at paigemitchell.coach. Got any questions about the show? Send me an email at connect@paigemitchell.coach, located in the show notes. And if you really like the show, don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you don't miss an episode. Please make sure to leave a rating and review because I love hearing your observations, takeaway, and personal journey. Remember, every day provides a lesson. You got this.